The fourth step in the seed street lighting tool is entering the costs associated with each of the fixtures and for the whole fixture analysis. So first we'll look at the general costs. These are costs that are used across the board on all fixtures regardless of which individual one they are, and apply the same for the whole analysis. There are four general costs that we need to enter, or four inputs rather, for the general costs. The first is operating hours, which is the number of hours obviously that the lights are on, and this is used in conjunction with the fixture wattage and energy cost to calculate how much it costs to run these fixtures throughout the year. For the energy cost, we assume a default dollars or any other currency per kilowatt hour of energy usage. This might not be the way that your poles are actually configured, since many utilities and municipalities have fixed per fixture cost rather than actually metering their energy, but you can convert whatever your fixture costs are for operation into an equivalent dollars per kilowatt hour for the calculations on a side calculation, and then enter that value here. If you want to assume that energy costs will increase over time, you can enter an inflation rate. So in this case, let's say that energy costs increase by 2% and that we pay 10 cents per kilowatt hour. The discount rate is used for net present value calculations, which bring the costs of future energy use and future maintenance cost into today's dollars for an annual cash flow analysis. And in this case, let's assume that we have a 5% discount rate. Now, these are the overall costs, and these are the only things we need to enter at this step. The rest of the costs are actually entered previously along with the information about each of the fixtures. We have a summary below here that shows which fixtures we've selected and what the associated cost assumptions are. So you can see here's my baseline fixture, which has 150 watt energy consumption. We already installed this fixture and we used the X in the baseline assumptions to indicate that we wanted to override the equipment and installation costs, so there's zero installation or equipment cost for the first year. But we are assuming that it costs $50 per year on average to maintain these fixtures. That'll cover regular replacement of the fixtures. So with this high pressure sodium fixture, we might need to replace it every few years. And this is the per year cost across a whole portfolio of fixtures. And let's assume that that cost increases at 2% per year. For the 4 upgrade fixtures, you can see that we have our wattage assumptions for each one of these. We have our installation cost, and remember that we changed the final 2 of these to be higher than normal, for higher than the default assumption. Continuing, we have installation cost, our rebate, which in this case we assume there is none, our maintenance cost, and the inflation rate for that maintenance cost every year. These all look good, but if we wanted to edit them, we would just go back to the third step here, choose fixtures, and scroll to the input table here starting in row 36, and scroll to the right where we see that we have the values where we can actually edit these assumptions. We know that they're all good for now, so we'll go back to identify the costs, and that's all the inputs that we need to enter. So next up we can confirm everything and we're ready to run the simulation.